Hello. So I wanted to make this video just to give you all a bit of background behind the approach I'm taking to my training for the Selkie race, and that kind of just goes for swimrun endurance events and endurance events in general. Now, I'm definitely not a professional coach or physiologist or athlete or whatever, but I do have a degree in biochemistry and I've been training for several years now with triathlon, so I've amassed a fair bit of knowledge from all those late nights reading articles and doing research. So yeah, I definitely feel like I know things, but to be honest, this for me is also just a bit of a learning process, and that's what makes it fun. So for this race in particular, the Selkie, I'm planning on taking it on in about 16 months, August 2021. And the reason for that is because there's two reasons. One is that you can only do it in August or late July because of water temperature, air temperature, sunlight hours, all these important things. And 4 months time or 16 months time are basically my only options. And because I'm kind of starting from scratch, because I've been injured for the past 9 months, I had something wrong with my Achilles. I'm basically building up from nothing, so I really need to give myself and my body the time to adapt to the requirements of the race. So when you're training for an event like this, I really would recommend 7 main components to your training. First one is your base training, so that's really just building up your aerobic engine so you can use oxygen really efficiently and basically mean that you can just go for a very long time. And the second component of endurance training is your race-specific training. So these are sessions where you're very specifically doing it for the purpose of the event that you're training for. So an example for myself could be a swim run session. So I'm swimming and then I'm running in one session, and maybe for quite a long time, which is quite taxing on the body and maybe not something that you could do for months and months, but it's great preparation when you get closer to the event itself. Now, the third component of training for an endurance event is definitely your strength training, and it's something that's really important for developing strong muscles that can support your joints, but also to give you really good quality muscle tissue and allow you to maintain, although I'm not doing it right now, good posture so you can hold your form when you're running or cycling or whatever for quite a long time. At the moment it's quite hard to do strength train. I've just got this TRX band, which I'm a little bit hopeless with, but normally you'd have access to a gym and weights and all the rest of it. Fourth component of training for an endurance event is definitely your flexibility. It's something that's always been a bit of an eye roller for me, but ever since I became injured and I had to start stretching every single day, I've kind of changed my tune because it's actually quite nice, but also because it definitely helps prevent injuries, but it also reduces your soreness and stiffness, which is something that you experience when you're training all the time. So outside of your actual physical training, the fifth key component of training for an endurance event is definitely your nutrition. And for me, I like to make sure I've always got a good balance between macronutrients like fat, carbs, protein, but also plenty of veg with every meal. And then number 6 includes almost everything else. The fuel that you're using to race with, the kit that you've got to train with, the kit that you're going to race in, the amount of sleep you're getting, all this important stuff. Now, the 7th and final component I would recommend for your endurance race training is definitely your milestones. So here we have here at the top the goal, and branching out I'm going to list a couple of different milestones that I need to achieve to reach that goal. So if I want to run 200 miles and swim 20 miles, I definitely need to do a 100-mile race at some point. I definitely need to be in the water swimming for over 6 hours at some point. I definitely need to swim run for a long time. And of course, this requires a plan of action. And in doing these milestones, they are something new, but they are, of course, also wrapping up previous things. You can test your kit, your nutrition, your ability, but also really just build up confidence and prove you can do it. Now, I definitely didn't really get the chance to go into everything in detail in this video, but the ambition is that I will make a series out of this, and certain points, I think like things like base training, things like milestones, the interesting stuff I am hoping to explore further and share with you all.